Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your bonus reading for November 2025. You have this Come to the Edge card and this Milk and Honey card here. I feel like you are on the edge of something, and normally that Come to the Edge card kind of represents pushing yourself to that point where you would normally give up on something and, going a little bit further. And funny enough, you do have the Knight of Swords here. Sometimes, the Knight of Swords is always facing towards the past in a reading, and I think it's important that that you probably will be doing that, like pushing yourself past that point where you'd normally give up on something. But I also feel like you literally are on the edge of getting something you've been thinking about, or you're very close to getting something you've asked for. And this has been kind of like a little bit of a theme for you this year, I would say, Scorpio. And sure, this popped out on my lap, so we'll put it to the side, but we'll take it. And let's get into it here, Scorpio. In your current general energies, we're doing a Celtic cross. You have the Three of Swords. Mercury retrograde, during retrogrades, healing always comes up. So, a lot of you could be doing some healing or going through some healing. Three of Swords is very easy. Three of Swords, we just have to practice forgiveness. We don't have to forgive a person directly. We just have to forgive them in our heart, and we can move on from there. So that's pretty much what I would do with the Three of Swords, is practice forgiveness or forgive and move on, just in general. Also, any healing that you want to do, the Three of Swords doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can just say that any healing you want to do, you should do, and that's what I would do there. You have the Knight of Swords as your crossing energy. And again, the Knight of Swords, he is always facing towards the past. So with the Come to the Edge card, I would definitely, the milk, you have that Milk and Honey card as well, which is like getting something really nice, like being rewarded from the universe. And sorry, I forgot to pull your last two cards, by the way. So let's do that. I knew something was off. But again, I think to get that reward from the universe, that you should definitely push past where you would normally give up on, a project or whatever you're working on. You also end with the Chariot. And the Chariot is a very good card, of course, but, the Chariot is about charging through obstacles. It's really, it's kind of like a hard thing to understand sometimes, because I feel like sometimes the Chariot basically says, all you have to do is not let an obstacle be an obstacle, just completely ignore it. And I know that how hard that can be. So I get it, Scorpio. It's not necessarily like an easy thing to do, but it is almost like that Chariot is saying that any obstacles that are getting in the way of what you want in life, just ignore them, even if you feel like you can't, and see what happens with the Knight of Swords. The other thing about the Knight of Swords is, especially during a Mercury retrograde, it's always a bad idea to jump to conclusions with the Knight of Swords. He can just represent assuming things, or being too hasty with your thoughts, or just assuming that something is going to go a certain way. And we should probably, we need to get the evidence. Basically, we need to, really find out how things are going to go. Next, in the area of what's on your mind, you have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups definitely could be love. We go down to the Eight of Swords and the Emperor here, which, definitely could be you attracting an Emperor. So some of you could be thinking about love. If you have your mind on a person, I would definitely go for it. I mean, it looks like you're going to anyway. You have the Emperor showing up in your future position. We'll talk about that in a minute. And so, again, if you admire a person, or if you think a person is interested in you, they probably are, because this is coming up in the area of your thoughts. I also feel for most of you, he has this fish in this cup, and I always say that fish might not exist. The fish is part of his dream, and it's kind of something that he needs to bring down to earth. Pretty much everyone in this set of readings has had something about a dream, and it's probably because we have Neptune and Pisces for the last time in our lifetimes. We'll be dead the next time Neptune comes back to Pisces. So, Neptune and Pisces is the big impossible dream. And I kind of feel like you're on the edge of some sort of dream, or everything you've asked for. It's like you have the ability to bring it down to earth, whether you think you can or you think you can't. And, I feel what's important here is just trying. That's the beautiful thing about Neptune and Pisces, is we only have to try. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to do everything all at once. But I really have been begging people to get started at the end of the year here, because that's the other beautiful thing about it, is you can literally just take the tiniest littlest step right now, as long as you get started before the end of the year, right? And if you do that, I think you'll be very happy that you did. In the area of your foundation, you have the Temperance card. I kind of really like the Temperance card in your reading in the foundation. At the end of your reading, you have this reframe card, and it says reflect, shift perspective, and discernment. Mercury retrograde is great for anything with RE in front of it. So reframing, redoing, rebirthing, kind of looking at for new perspectives. This is a card of transformation. The Temperance card, he's turning one thing into another. He's practicing alchemy. And so Mercury retrograde is great for alchemy. I think that's something people forget about Mercury retrograde. We can take something that we've been working on and we can reinvent it, right? That is alchemy, turning it into something better. And so if there is anything that you're working on at this time, I feel that it would be a good time to kind of like rework those, your projects, your businesses, your ideas, even personal things like your health, anything that you want to rework, I would with this card. There's this glowing crown here, and that crown is, this is like the path to glory. It's the path to everything he wants. Like I said, it's like that come to the edge card is saying to me, like, you're on the edge right here of this path that is going to bring to you what you've been wanting. Next, in the area of the past, you have this high honor card. It says promotion, raise, success, recognition, fame, achievement, high society, positive public opinion. That's pretty good. You have this mature man. It says wise, older, influential male, a fatherly figure, and a boss, mentor, teacher. So I feel you could be attracting a older person, sure. Doesn't have to be a man. Again, this is a general reading, so whatever you're into. And it could be a person who's highly looked up to as well. I do feel that. They might be coming up in the past because maybe this is a person that you already know, or maybe it's a person you've had your eye on. I'm not calling you out here, Scorpio, but having Page of Cups in the area of what's on your mind, it like literally could say that a person is on your mind. So, if you have your eye on a person, I would just go for it here. I feel like it could be a good person for you. I also think that it is time for Scorpio to stop playing small. Again, this is not so intuitive, but just based off the astrology, I do feel that, I think the fixed signs, you being one of them, need to think about how they can make a bigger impact. It's like kind of like branching out. Even if you have a job or a career, for example, it's like how can you get a bigger position or, a position where you would have more of an impact. Those could be things that fixed signs are thinking about right now. Because again, we have Uranus retrograding into Taurus in the middle of the month. And, that really is triggering freedom for fixed signs. So anything that makes you feel trapped or anything that makes you feel stuck, you're going to want to burst out of that. It's almost like if you've ever seen someone squeezing something slippery, it's like if you squeeze something slippery, it goes flying. It's like that is the energy that I think you could be feeling right now, where it's like you're in the squeeze and you're wanting to like pop out. I hope that makes sense. Also in the past, you have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. Again, freedom. The reason, this has nothing to do with freedom, this card, but the reason I think it does is because Two of Pentacles can just be working just to work. They're just to do something, right? It might be hard work for hard work's sake. And I feel that is what Scorpio is trying to get away from, is just working hard, just to work hard. It's like, I don't necessarily think you mind working hard if you're getting a result, right? Like if you're working hard, but you're making $1 million a year, you probably wouldn't be complaining. But if you're working hard and you're only making $10 an hour, it's like you're probably looking to escape whatever that situation is. I'm not saying that's obviously the situation you're in, but I'm just giving you an example. And I feel that you really have the opportunity to kind of be more focused and not scattered, and also, spinning less plates. It's kind of funny to me because just like thinking back on the year for you, Scorpio, it's like I remember, all the readings. It's my only life skill. The only thing I can do in life is remember readings. And you've been getting the 10 of Wands with me a lot this year. And so 10 of Wands is like being burdened. But, the whole year, I think we've been talking to you about how you need to look at your burdens and, get rid of the things that don't belong to you and, kind of lighten the load, so to speak. And I feel like that's what you're finally doing here, Scorpio, which is great. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this dragon. It says strength and wisdom. You have this spirit card. It says unseen forces watch over you. You've built a lot of strength here is what I feel like this card is saying. It's like saying you've built a lot of strength in your life and wisdom as well. And, I almost feel like the universe is kind of relieving you in some ways. It's kind of weird that I have that like a sense of relief off of these two cards. That's not how I would necessarily read this normally, but, I feel like there is a sense of relief coming in for you at the end of the year here. Especially if like this last month or like maybe since September, I feel like you've entered into like another little dip and you're just like, here we go again. I have that feeling of like, here it goes again, another dip in my life, right? This probably started in September for you, I feel. And, I kind of feel like there's a sense of relief, like you're coming out of that dip, especially if you experience that. Next, in the area of your very near future, you have this Eight of Swords, again, setting yourself free. I feel like you're finding better ideas. Eight of Swords, she's a little bit stuck. She's only seeing one way to solve her problem when there are many ways that she could solve her problem. One thing that she can do is trust her intuition. Blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition or needing to listen to what your inner voice is telling you to do. And, I kind of feel this for some people right now that it's like we feel stuck, but maybe we do know what to do, and you might be saying, I don't know what to do, but maybe you really do know what to do is kind of what I feel here. It's like you have ideas, and I feel you need to trust those ideas more. I also feel you need to realize that there's like a million ways that you could set yourself free. The thing about the Eight of Swords is she's standing in this shallow pool of water, and it kind of represents her emotions or her emotional connection to her issues. But what I feel for you, Scorpio, is different, actually. And it's like, I think there are things that you are connected to that are emotional. It's like a weird feeling, and I'm trying to grab onto that message. It's almost like, it's like if you wanted to start a business, but you have a job and you have a family to take care of. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, that there's something that could make your life better, but you have these things that you have to take care of, and so it's like you have to work or something. It's like that's the freedom that Scorpio is trying to gain right now, is what I feel. I hope that makes sense. And obviously it's not family for all of you. I just feel like it's something, that you have to take care of. And let's see if we get any answers, and I'll stop babbling, right? We already read those. In your outcome row, you have this death card, which could be you. It says letting go, transformation, and rebirth. You have this reframe card, probably the most important card here. It says reflect, shift perspective, and discernment. Yeah, so looking at things from a different perspective could be very important for you. I see you doing something that's going to like build, is what's popping into my head. It's like maybe you can't, it's like maybe to replace your job, you would have to make $50,000 a year, right? Or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing a number out here. And it's like maybe you could start something right now that makes like $500 a month. And you might be like, $500 is nothing, which nowadays they just keep devaluing our currency and our money is worth nothing. So I agree with you there. Hopefully that changes, is what I'll say. But it's like, yeah, maybe right now it would be worth nothing. But it's like if you would stick with it, I think over a short period of time, probably faster than you think, something will build to what the level that you need it to build to. And I feel like it's like right now you have to start small and then kind of like build up from there, right? I'll give you a great example. I was talking to someone the other day who wants to start a YouTube, and they don't have a lot of time because they have a job, right? And so what I was telling them is that, and this idea came from my assistant, so shout out to her, right? But she gave it to me, and then I told this person what to do. But what's really popular right now is people are just doing kind of like videos where it's like a short vlog, where it's like just their day of them getting home from work. And I was like, maybe you start there, and yeah, that's not exactly what you want to do, but it's like it's a starting point that you can build from. That's what I feel here, is like this is encouraging Scorpio to have a starting point, even if it's not perfect, right? Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the Emperor. Yeah, a lot of bossing up energy. I mean, in the next few months, by the end of February, we're going to have Saturn and Neptune are both going to move back into Aries. So we all have to be bosses, basically. And that doesn't mean you have to have a business, but it just means you have to take control of your life and make things happen. And you have to be disciplined in how you make things happen as well. And so I think that, I'm happy for you to see the Emperor at the end here because, it kind of says you're bossing up, you're taking control of your life. He's also sitting on his throne, and he has his armor on underneath his cloak here. So, this represents the fact that he's ready to go at a moment's notice. Whenever an opportunity presents itself, he jumps on it. He doesn't wait for the opportunity to disappear. And I definitely feel that for you, Scorpio, where it's if there are opportunities that are coming your way, I would definitely be jumping on those opportunities and grabbing onto them. I also do feel this could be love, and it could be a fire sign, or it could just be a fiery person. Even in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Page of Wands. So this part of the reading represents all relationships in your life, but this could be a relationship that comes in for you. Could definitely be a fiery person or a fire sign. You have water and fire stand out to me here, but it could be any sign. General reading: Cancer, Aries, Sag, water in general stands out to me for the most part. But like I said, it could be a person who just has those placements. I feel that, again, for you to attract love, I would be getting out in public. Obviously, Page of Wands, he is just on an adventure. But I think what's important about the Page of Wands, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, Scorpio, so let me say that first, is that he's not looking for an outcome. He's not, if he were dating, he's not looking to date. And I know that's confusing for some people, but, he is just going out, and he is just in an energy of enjoying himself. He's not in this energy of being I need this person to be this thing, right? It's I see all these people, men and women, I'm going to call both out, right, on social media, where they go on a date and they get on TikTok, and the first thing they do is record a video of them crying in the car, which is, it's why? That is the cringiest thing I've ever seen, number one. Number two, no one cares. Number three, it's guess what? That person, it just didn't work out. You have to go on a date with someone else, right? And meet someone new. But it's those people are going out with the intention of an outcome. They want a specific outcome, and they're putting that person in that box. Never works, right? I think TikTok has proven it, basically. So we need to go out and just say, I am going to, what would happen, right? If you just said, I'm going to go out and have a good time. If this person sucks, well, F them. Right? But I am going to choose to have a good time. It's what type of person do you think you would attract if you did that? Probably someone pretty fun, right? And I think you should try it, right? People love to leave me comments, and they're well, I can't because the last 10 people have cheated on me and blah, blah, blah. I'm well, okay, but that's the past, number one. Not everybody is like that. So it's why not just try it? Why not just say, I'm going to, no matter what happens, I am going to choose to have fun. And by the way, I think you should be adopting that attitude for everything. Jobs, businesses, whatever you're doing. Just say, no matter what, I'm going to choose to have fun. And I don't know, I think you might be surprised what happens. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles wants you to focus on your strengths. I think the universe wants you to focus on your strength. You have this strength and wisdom card, And so Five of Pentacles basically just wants you to do that. I really don't have any advice on the Five of Pentacles. I don't really feel, it's not really saying anything to me other than you have a choice. You can call attention to your weaknesses or call attention to your strengths. The choice is yours here, Scorpio. Your outcome, you have the Chariot. This kind of popped out. The reason, sometimes when I get a pop out, I'll put them together, right? Sometimes when I get a pop out, I just feel like it was me pulling the card. It fell into my lap, right? Is it really important to the reading? I don't know. But you do have the Seven of Cups, which is being spoiled for choice. The Chariot is about just charging forward through those obstacles, right? And that's what I feel this reading is saying. It's like a rhinoceros reading. It wants you to just be... actually, it's not. I think it's a steamroller reading. I think that this reading wants you to be you just blow right over anything that's in your way, any obstacles, anything, or just completely ignore them and charge forward. It really wants you to have that confidence. The Chariot is a victory or success, but, I feel this is more like an energy that the universe wants Scorpio to be. The Scorpio wants you to be the Chariot. The Chariot is about being in alignment with your goals. And that's why he's getting what he wants. He's also willing to embrace a mystery, right? He's not entering into something thinking this thing has to go this way. He's just saying, I'm in alignment with a perfect relationship, for example. I'm just going to charge towards it. That's it. With the Three of Swords and the Knight of Swords, you have the Queen of Cups. You showing up in this reading. So I feel that a lot of you are showing up in a strong position. She is the heart-based card. So you have that Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords wants you to heal your heart, obviously. So I think it could be a good time for you to like pay attention to what your heart is telling you to do right now, Scorpio. And obviously you have to heal your heart to be able to do that. Here you go. With the Page of Cups, can't make this up. You have a perfect match right here. So you clearly could have your eye on a person. It's like maybe you need to heal, or maybe you need to like heal something so that this person can come towards you. But definitely, divine counterparts. And I really do like the King and Queen of Cups together. But I do feel like some of you have your eye on a person already with that King of Cups and the Page of Cups. With the Temperance card, you have the King of Swords. There is something about the end of the year here about like the curse of knowledge, right? And so King of Swords is knowledge and wisdom. He's a good card, but I don't know. I just have had this feeling at the end of the year about knowing too much. It's like sometimes if we know too much about whatever we're doing, then it kind of makes us not want to take action on something, right? If you know too much. And so I feel that, especially with the Chariot, he is charging away from everything he has known. So it's almost as if the reading is encouraging you to just treat all new situations, all new opportunities as completely new. It's almost like you have a blank canvas in front of you. But, if you think to yourself, like, I know this, I know that, and so this isn't a blank canvas, I think that's where the Eight of Swords comes in, because the King of Swords is the curse of knowledge, knowing too much and, kind of overthinking. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Three of Cups. Yeah, this could also be people-pleasing here, with that Two of Pentacles. Like I said, we were talking about the Ten of Wands and the burdens of other people and obligations and things like that. And it's almost like you are leaving that people-pleasing behind. If you are dealing with the expectations of others, you definitely could be removing those things, which I think you have needed to do all year. You have the Eight of Swords. You have the Six of Wands with this card. So Six of Wands is a victory, big success. Pretty good reading, actually, Scorpio. It looks to me like you're finally kind of like breaking through, or it's like I said at the beginning of the reading, it's like you're on the edge. You're at the edge of a breakthrough or something like that is what this reading is trying to say. I feel like the universe is almost rewarding you, Scorpio. Here, it's like the universe is giving you a little bit of a boost, or, it's kind of like helping you kind of walk through the fire that you've been walking through all along. And I feel like it's pushing you forward, which is good. With the Emperor, you have the High Priestess here. I feel like you need to trust your intuition. There is a little bit of mystery in this reading, I feel, where, the High Priestess, we have to peek behind the curtain with the High Priestess. It's like sometimes we have to be willing to look at the things that we don't want to look at, or the parts of something that we don't maybe want to see. This isn't like bad. This is, sometimes we can have an opportunity in work or business, right? And it's like we want it, but there might be some parts of it that we don't want to do. And the High Priestess is sometimes about needing to see how the sausage is made, needing to, peek behind the curtain and be willing to explore the mystery because it's part of the big picture, right? And so that's kind of that. With the Page of Wands, here you go. Are you kidding? You have the Four of Wands. Could be marriage potential in the future. I'm not saying you're going to get married today, but, the Four of Wands could be marriage. Four of Wands is also the card of freedom in the tarot. So, the whole reading is the universe asking you to set yourself free from some sort of limitation, or to push through, like complete something and cross through this threshold so you can have a celebration on the other side. It's like the universe really wants you to have a celebration. So there you go. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, things have to change is basically it. King of Pentacles is the way things have always been done. It's not a bad card, and it's, a good card for money, but, at the same time, the King of Pentacles is a card of convention, which represents the way things have always been done, which is probably what you're trying to break free from here, Scorpio. With the Chariot, you have the Page of Swords. Yeah, I think you're really... the Page of Swords is about being curious, and the Page of Swords with the Chariot would be about being willing to explore the unknown, being willing to, kind of like make the moves necessary to be very successful, or, the Page of Swords, if he's excited about something or curious about something, he just explores it, right? You have this staff card. It says you will be taken care of in difficult times. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about, right? So let your fears and worries about the future go. You have this dog far away. It says a distant friend is thinking of you. So yeah, if someone's popping into your head, might be a good time to reach out. They might make them feel good, might make you feel good. They might have answers for you. You have this success card. Love it. So we see a lot of success here. Six of Wands, Chariot especially, but also like the Emperor. And so I feel there is a certain level of success. You have this ear. It says good news on it. So you have 3 pages. Normally, we consider the knights to be messengers in the tarot, but the pages can also kind of be messengers. So there definitely could be some good news. You have this older woman. It says dealings or relationships with an older woman. I always clarify these people cards. You have this barrel. It says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Yeah, you could just be filling in the gaps this month. Like anything that you want that you don't have, might be a good month to just go and get it, whatever it is. So pretty straightforward stuff here, Scorpio. Thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, by the way, and definitely enjoy your month.